Okay, so this is what I gathered. Everything that you need to know in order for you to get your first job, to get a job that you wanted for the past months. This video is for people who want to get a job quickly, who want to get their first job, and in order for them to get their job, they need to do these following steps. Right after moving to another country, it took me, I think, 2 weeks to find a job with no language skills. I just had a specific strategy that I used in order for me to send a CV out, have the interview, and be done with it, and then have the job. So, So the first thing is that you need to know what you want out of your job. So you need to know what you want, and you need to know what they want. In that, I mean, you need to know how much you want to be making, what type of work you need to do. For example, I like to work in offices. I like to work with papers. I like to work at the computer. But for some people, that's boring. That's not for them. And they like to be with people. They like to communicate with people. They like to, I don't know, deal with customers, or they want to like make recipes, deal with food. It depends on your type. You need to know how much you want to make and what you want to do. You need to really make sure that you are making the amount that you want with that position, and you're not applying for crappy positions that you are going to quit after a couple of months, because really it's not worth it. Because the process of, applying and getting a job, it can be really stressful for you. And if you settle for a less important job, and if you settle for a job that you don't like, you're going to be right back in the cycle that you were at the beginning looking for a job. You need to have the confidence in yourself that you can execute the job correctly, because if they see that you're lacking and not putting efforts, of course they're going to fire you. Of course you're going to quit. That doesn't even matter. You need to know what you want and what they want out of you, out of your qualities. The next thing is your CV, because that is the first thing that a person sees. That is their first impression of you. And the CV can make or break every single thing. Because, they're not going to offer you an interview if your CV looks like shit. Like, let's be honest. So first of all, put a picture. Put a good picture of yourself. Put in a professional picture. Even if it's like, find like a blank wall. It doesn't need to be like professional, of course. Just find a blank wall, like a white wall. Just like put on like a suit or something, and then just like pose. And just pose and like take a picture on the blank wall, and just maybe edit it a little bit, just make yourself look a little cuter. If you're a man, just make yourself look a little bit more handsome, and then just put it on your CV like a little photo. Trust me, if a person sees just the picture from the CV, they will likely have a process in their brain. Oh, they're professional, they're put together, they are suitable for the position. Any position. People like to work with people who are professional and who are dedicated and look organized and planned, because that's what every single job needs. They need professionalism, and they need like an organized person to work. There's one more thing that I didn't know about CVs. So, for example, if you have gone to, if you, for example, have gotten to school and then like elementary school and then high school and then your job, I've noticed, what you need to do in your CV is put the thing that you are doing currently at the top. So the top is what you're doing currently, and then later on just put, school and other jobs and everything else. That's how your CV needs to be built up. So first like picture, and then your personal data like about yourself, and then put in from the top your most recent, and then from the bottom like the latest, the ones that you did in the past. So that's how your CV should be built, for the structure, for them to be able exactly to locate, and also make it organized. Make your CV look organized. Don't put too much shit in it. Don't put like less shit in it. Just make it look like 1 or 2 pages is enough. 1 or 2 pages is plenty of what they need to read about you. If you put junk in it, they're not going to read everything. People put like 10 pages of their CVs. Nobody's going to read that shit. Trust me. They're just going to see your recent ones, and that's it. They're not going to read it. If your CV is put together and really small, it's most likely that they're going to read it through. Next thing, when you have your CV ready, the thing is how you are sending your application. So you have CV sending online. You have, if you want to send your CVs through email, you have sending it directly through letter, That is how I get most of my jobs. If I send it directly to HR, I've gotten the best jobs if I directly, because you need to find something. If you really want a job, you need to find like something that will make you stand out. For example, I always send letters, and that's how I got my job. That's how I got my current job too, because they just saw my letters, saw my CV, and they invited me. And after a couple of hours from the interview, I got the position. So trust me on this. Just if you really want like a specific way or a specific company, just send a letter to HR and send it to email, send it also online. You always need to have backups. Don't be set on one firm. That is also one thing. If you're looking for a job, your first job, or urgently need a job, don't apply for one thing and don't be disappointed if they don't accept you. Just really focus on getting the point right, looking at your CV, making it look professional, sending it to HR, email, sending it to, Indeed postings or anything else that you use, which is a platform to getting jobs. Just make yours stand out. Really make yours stand out with your application and with how they got to know you. That is the main thing too, because with that you will stand out. And also with a letter, that is also what my sister told me. So if they have a letter, that is the one thing that they can hold in their hands. When you have an email, you can just click it and then it will disappear. But if they're holding your letter and your CV, they'll put it on the table. It will sit there. They will look at it, and it's the most likely chance that you will get accepted for an interview, because they're actually holding it in their hand. So once you get the interview, you need to write it down, because as said, if you're looking for a job urgently, you will mostly, if your CV is looking good, you will get a lot of interview offers. With that, it will be in person, and you have online interviews. Those are the two variations today that we have. As soon as you get a phone call or an email that you have been booked for an interview, write that shit down, because you will forget it. Because I forgot so many interviews that I missed out on because I didn't write it down. Really, just take your goddamn notebook, take a piece of paper that you will not lose. Just make one piece of paper for every single interview. Write down the name of the firm, the timing, the address, and where you have received it. Because as I said, if you are applying through email, through applications on internet, if you're applying through like a letter, you need to know where the source is, because later on, if you want to find proof that you have been invited, then you can write down, okay, Stepstone, it was through Stepstone, or through Indeed, or was through email, was through the letter that I wrote to them. Write down the name of the company, address, maybe phone number, the timing of the interview and the date, and how you received that thing. That will really help you, like that structure. And write every single interview down, because you will forget it. Just write that shit down. And when you have the interview, you exactly know which timing and when you need to go to that interview. If you urgently need a job, because I was in that situation, trust me, I was in that situation many, many times where I urgently needed a job. I found every single way to attend those interviews, even if it's online, on my break at the current position that I had, taking sick days to go to interviews, because I really didn't like the position I was at. Be there on time and look put together. For God's sake, don't put your phone here when you have an online interview. Just put it up, and if it's in person, just look put together, because really looks are every single thing. Sorry it is, because if you look good, you will have a higher chance of getting that job. Not even looking good, just looking professional is the thing. Now I'm going to talk about some general advice that you need to look out for once you attend the interview. So this is a general advice for either if you have an online interview or an interview in person, what you need to watch out for and what you need to apply once you attend those interviews. Bring a notebook. Bring a notebook with you. Trust me, bring this with you with written down questions about the company. So as I said, you need to know what you want in that position and what they want. So prepare everything, research a little bit about the position and a little bit about the firm. Write everything down, memorize some things about the firm and about the position, and write down questions that is so important that people don't even care about. Write down questions about the position that will show them 10,000 times more that you are interested in that position and that you wanted more than that other person who came unprepared. Just really, if it's an online interview, of course, just do this, you know. Yeah. And like also one more thing, if it's an online interview, and just do this. Just give it your all to have it all, you know? People don't care about these like little things that people like, you know, need to watch out for these interviews. One more thing, I'm not sure if that's going to be helpful for you, but just try to not look nervous, because I know a lot of people on interviews, especially like for jobs, they just, you know, either they look nervous or like they sound nervous, or like their, you know, their posture is like this, or like, you know, this. Just really try to be confident, because remember, this is just one firm out of thousands of firms and out of hundreds of interviews that you may have, or, you know, that they're just, you know, there's like 50% chance in your head maybe that they're gonna accept you or not. Just really don't be nervous, because there's literally nothing to be nervous about. They're just another person who is there just asking you a couple of questions. They're already done with that position. If they're not nervous, you shouldn't be nervous either. And also, if you have a really nice person talking to you, just like really, it doesn't really need to be that hard. The secret formula to getting the interview done and to getting the job is to mirror the person that you are talking to. The person that you are talking to is the biggest thing that you need to watch out for when the time of the interview comes. If they, for example, speak more quietly or more like aggressively or like, you know, fast, just copy whatever type of person they are, like whatever type of body language they have and how they talk to you and like how their posture is, how their like body language is. Just copy that, trust me. Because if I'm talking to like a man who's like, you know, has his hands on the table, is more like assertive, I'm also like more assertive, more on the table, then he just compares and say, oh, okay, she's similar, she understands me, she gets this firm, she gets this job. And if there's like a woman speaking to me, if her legs are like, you know, crossed, and if she has her hands down like this, I'm going to have my hands down like this and I'm going to talk to her. If she's more calm talking, I'm going to talk more calmly. If the person that is interviewing you talks really, really loudly and really fast, I'm going to talk more loudly and more fast. Just match their vibes, match their energy to really makes the interview 1,000% better. And trust me, at the end, you're going to see on their face that they want you for that position. You're going to see that you have made an amazing impression just because you copied the way that they are acting in the interview. If you are looking for your first job or your 100th job, just don't give up. Just keep on applying. Don't let any firm discourage you from being yourself and being the best version of yourself in front of them. Just, it will come. If you get declined from the position, just think of that way that that position wasn't meant for you, and you would be horrible if you actually worked there. So be thankful that you have been declined from that position and apply for more and more and more until one hits, and then another one hits, then you also have options to choose from. So yeah, I feel like that's enough advice for today. I now have to edit this thing, and then also I'm filming this on a Monday when I also want to film videos on Saturday because it's the weekend. And I feel so goddamn tired today from work. But it's fine. All of it will pass. Better times will come. And I'm just gonna say thank you for watching. And yeah. I still don't know how to end videos, so I don't know. I really don't know how to end videos. I really don't know what to do. I'm just gonna turn off the camera again, right? Yeah.